How to get rich. I know that's why you bought this course. You're sitting here thinking, I want to be rich. How do I do it? I'm going to tell you exactly how you get rich. But you may not like what I'm going to say to you, but it's the fucking truth. There is no easy way to get rich. And I'll tell you why. The nature of money, this is once again something else I understood at a very young age. The difference between you and me is very little, except I had a head start on you. Well, you were 18 acting like a dumbass. I was 18 getting shit done. So I've had a head start. So from 18 to 28, I amassed my millions. But it's not too late for anybody. Listen, the nature of how to get rich is because of the nature is very difficult because of the nature of money. Money is not something you can earn or make. People talk about making money, earning money. Money is something you must convince out of the hands of somebody else. Money belongs to someone else. You have to convince them to give it to you. That's why making money is difficult. Because if money is something you could make, it wouldn't be difficult. If money is something you could earn, it still wouldn't be that difficult. You really have to convince other people to give you the money. And that's the hard part. Because when you understand that reality, then you have to sit there and decide, okay, I have to convince this person to give me money. How do I get as much money from that person as possible? That's what you need to focus on. How do you make yourself so high value that they'll pay enough for your service? Regardless of what your service is or who you are as a person. You have to discover, what is it that I have that other people are going to want? That's the first thing. And secondly, how can I get them to give me a lot of money for it? That's the basis of it. So let's go into it in more detail. How to get rich is as follows. You need to understand. In fact, you need to get pen and fucking paper. You need to write this down. I'm going to struggle to get rich. You are absolutely going to struggle. It's going to be very, very difficult. I did on my podcast with CNQ, I told a story about when I was really at my brokest and how I ate the same meal every day for about 9 months. And I called it flavor because it had no flavor. And it was basically rice. I used to buy a 10 kilo or 20 kilo bag of rice for like $20. It was rice, it was kidney beans, because I read the back of the cans and they had the most protein because you get cans of kidney beans for like 9p, like 10 American cents back then. It's 10 cents. They had more protein than meat. I divided it all up for the value, for the money spent. I got the most possible protein from kidney beans than I did even meat. Because I'm anti-vegetarian, I don't like the idea of vegetarianism. I think it's a disconnect from reality. Humans have always eaten meat. We always will. To start pretending that's bad or wrong is something a bit wrong up here. So I'm an anti-vegetarian. I bought the cheapest possible meat because I refused to eat a meal without meat in it. But really my protein was coming from kidney beans. So I had rice, kidney beans, the cheapest possible frozen meat, and then just for greens, the cheapest thing I could buy was frozen peas. And I ate that every single day, 3 meals a day for 9 months, because it allowed me to feed myself for a month on about $90 or $100 for a month. Me and my brother, 2 full-grown men in combat training, eating 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day. We just ate piles of this flavor. It had no flavor. Ate. I said this on the CNQ podcast. And this is when, back then, the reason I had so little money is because I was spending all of my money trying different businesses. Because you are going to struggle to get rich and you are going to fail over and over and over again. All of these people say it. Tai Lopez, Grant Cardone, they all say the same thing. You have to be ready for failure, blah, blah, blah. And people go, yeah, I get it. No, you don't get it. You have to be ready to fuck up because you're going to fuck up. Because there's no magical formula. If you try your first ever business and you make money with your first ever business, you're probably going to fuck that up anyway because you don't have any experience with losing money. You need to fail to succeed. And I know it's fucking cringe. I hate to say the same shit everyone else says, but it's absolutely true. What I'm going to do in this part of the video is I'm going to put in a clip of something I recorded in my Hateful Tate series telling you a story of one of my failed business attempts. So you can listen to that as well and you can enjoy listening to me fuck up because I fucked up plenty of times before I discovered a few things that started to work.
So whenever I'm in Slovakia or Hungary, I drink these because the first time I came to Slovakia, I had one at a petrol station and they're like a drink with chunks of aloe vera in it. This must have been about 9-10 years ago. And now I've seen these a few times in corner shops and stuff. Back then, nowhere in England had drinks with aloe vera in it. So I was only like 21, 22, and obviously I was broke as a joke and I wanted to get rich. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to import these drinks. And I'm going to sell them in England, and I'm going to be a sole supplier, and I'm going to get rich. So I found a contact in Hungary who could provide them to me for like, I don't know how much they were, 38p or something. I want to sell them for about £1. So then I started contacting all the superstores. I was watching Dragon's Den about getting distribution. I thought, this is hard. So I emailed Morrison's, emailed Waitrose. I started emailing them every day saying I had some revolutionary new health drink that was guaranteed with all these bullshit results, and I promised them 100% markup on it. So I told them they'd buy it for 50p, so I'd make 12p per bottle, and they'd sell it for £1, 100% markup. Made out like I was a real company. I'm 22. Right away, all these people. Eventually I get an email back from Tesco saying, because everyone ignores you, because everyone's trying to get their stuff into superstores, so they completely ignore you. Got an email back from Tesco saying, I'm away from my, as you know, I've now left the business, and my replacement is Mr. Chris something, is coming in to replace me. So I waited a couple of days, and I emailed Chris and said, hi, Chris, we need to speak urgently. Your predecessor and I were one step away from achieving distribution, pretending I spoke to the previous guy who left, who never responded to me ever. So then Chris emails me like, oh, okay, you better come down there. So it was in Cheshunt, Hertfordshire, the Tesco head office. And I thought a normal job back then, so I arranged a meeting at like 5:30, finished work an hour early, walk into Tesco fucking head office in my Matalan suit with 4 or 5 bottles of this shit, which I brought in a backpack. Sat down there, let him test it all, gave him my pitch about health benefits, 100% bonus, and all those bollocks. He gave me a piece of paper saying how Tesco accept distribution, saying like, it needs to come X amount of bottles per crate, X amount of crates per container, like just all this expensive distribution shit. So anyway, he said he'd get back to me. So I fucking leave there excited as fuck, call up my guy in Hungary, says I need it in this many bottles per crate, this many crates per container. I need to be able to deliver this many containers per fucking week to Tesco stores, London, all this bollocks, da-da-da-da-da-da. My man in Hungary goes, okay, I can make this happen, da-da-da, it's going to cost this much, blah, blah. So I'm waiting, and Chris emails me and says, we need to talk about your drink, are you free to come in again? I was like, yeah, of course. Anyway, in the meantime, the guy from Hungary says, it's going to take me 6 months to turn around preparing your distribution. I said, oh, no, it can't be 6 months. No, Tesco want it now. Tesco want it now. He goes, well, I need some money to begin doing this. It's going to cost some money, so you need to pay me some money. You want like $2,000. And I had no money. I had my month's wages, about 1,600 quid, came the next day. So I remember borrowing £500 and my month's wages and sending it to Hungary, $2,000. The day before my meeting, my big meeting with Tesco, so this guy could begin fucking pissing around with crates. Taking my last £100 to last me the month. Now I'm 500 quid in debt as well. Filling up with petrol, putting on my Matalan suit, walking in there, sitting down with this Chris guy who was fat as fuck. I don't know what. Of course he was in charge of choosing the food. Fat cunt. And he's literally, the meeting lasted 30 seconds. He said, I'm sorry that my predecessor gave you the impression we were going to stock your product. Personally, I find it repulsive. And that was it. That was the end of my aloe vera dream. He never emailed me back again. None of the other superstores ever emailed me. I kept emailing, we've got different flavors. Wasn't interested. Completely blanked me. Everyone blanked me. The Hungarian guy took $2,000 of my money, and I was more poor than ever. So now when I drive through the continent in my Lambo, I enjoy an aloe vera drink. Personally, I find it repulsive. I remember sitting there thinking in my head, that was unnecessarily rude. He was unnecessarily rude to me because he thought he was important. I'm the fat dude who chooses Tesco's food. But he ain't got a fucking Lambo. I might scroll through my email and fucking find it somewhere in the depths. Send him a picture of me outside my Lambo drinking an aloe vera drink.
Surrounded by aloe vera.
Surrounded by aloe vera drink.
Absolutely, you're going to struggle to make money. So the first thing is this. When we're talking about mindset, talking about being pissed off you don't have money, talking about believing you can do it. All those things are essentially important. The reason we did the first video, in fact, if you watch this entire series once, that's fine, but you need to watch the first video at least 20 times because it's the mindset that's going to allow you to get anywhere else.